How about the idea of buying 100 units of an apartment? Pwede ba yon? So based on what I learned from my coach, pwede. But kailangan mo lang talaga malaman kung ano yung mga dapat mong malaman, di ba? Because you don't know what you don't know, sabi nga nila. And that's the 28 units, that building sa harapan ng Garden City Collegiate. That is
Mm,
our first acquisition. And as of now, it is 100% occupied. Hindi siya
wow.
nabakante. Yeah, I know. And it's a very good location too because it's prime location in Garden City. Now that we are into the multifamily thing, we can see a lot of multifamilies everywhere. So that's really exciting. So hopefully, but we are more focused on Canada kasi, diba? Kasi nandiyan tayo. But here's the sessions that I learned earlier about real estate. So real estate is different from different people. They have different meaning about real estate. And then when you talk about real estate, sometimes we have to really ask people, ano ba yung real estate na pinag-uusapan talaga nila? Kasi majority of the time, when we talk about real estate, especially for us, ako galing sa pagiging, well, I'm still is doing the real estate brokerage. So I'm still an agent of my own company and I'm still helping people buy and sell houses. So yun si Mel Elago sa Canada for so many years, for 15 years. And um, ang understanding ko pag pinag-usapan ng real estate are houses. Okay? And I know for a fact that there are commercial real estate which is totally different from residential real estate. Kaya parang alam mo yon, you have to understand ano ba talagang real estate ang pinag-uusapan. And we can also talk about land kasi land is a real estate too, di ba? But what type of land? Maraming uses of land. There are lands that are being used for agriculture, di ba? Merong mga vacant lands um, na for residential development. And then there are lands na pang commercial development. There's a lot of real estate. And meron tayong tinatawag na mga like warehouse, strip malls, or malls. All of those are real estate. Pag pinag-usapan ng real estate, it's a very broad. There's a lot of ways to invest on a particular type of real estate. Pero dito sa ating pinag-uusapan, we're more focused on the multifamily. Kasi for me, especially, galing ako sa residential real estate category, more on buy and sell. So what we get into was to, and still is, yung house flip. So pwede akong kumita, bibili ako ng bahay, and I'm gonna renovate it. Yun yung trabaho namin. Hanggang ngayon, we still have projects na ang ginagawa namin is buy and sell. But I'm very, very particular with location. Kasi masyado akong conservative pag pinag-usapan ng location. Kasi we can improve the house. Pero ang hirap i-improve ng location kasi it's not in your control. So anything that is out of our control, yung pagpapaganda ng neighborhood, it's not in our control. So it's better to buy a house na itiplif mo doon sa neighborhood na maganda, kahit ang pangit-pangit ng house na yan, pero pagka maganda ang neighborhood, madaling magpaganda ng bahay. That's one way of making money na natutunan namin sa residential real estate. I believe since 2010, nung, nung na-acquire namin yung isang property na actually that property we hold for a moment and then flip it, then that was 2010 and then before we even buy our first home. So ginawa namin yon. And since then, parang, uy, may income. So we did it until now. And we learn a lot of stuff investing in it. But again, the only thing is, pag ginagawa mo yon, hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon you're making money, especially majority of the time it breaks even and then bawi na lang kami on the next. Kasi may mga pagkakataon, especially nung panahon ng COVID time, ay naku po, biglang nag-shoot up lahat ng cost of materials. unanticipated yun talaga. And we spent so much on our renovations. Kaya yun yung mga learning curves, 'di ba? But now, we had two projects na consistent, and my coach was telling us if we wanna do more of the flips, we have to do more than two or three. Kailangan i-double namin to at least make even more money. And ang sabi niya, we have to collab with other contractors. So other contractors can be involved as well dun sa deal. So those are the other sides, right, on the residential. Kaya nga, pinag-usapan namin ni Orly noon when we get into understanding about multifamily. Um, kasi sa PLEF, you buy, you fix, and then you sell, and then tapos na agad. Walang continuity. And then you're gonna look for another property, buy it again, fix it again, and then sell it and make money and then repeat it again. So it's not something sustainable. You do it again and again and again, diba? It's actually a business, right? But sa multifamily kasi, once you buy, an asset, this particular type of asset, you buy it once, and then cash flow continues from day one onwards habang hawak mo yung property. As long as you do the right underwriting on the property, and then it gives you cash flow every single month, then yung sustainability nandun. Yun yung nakita namin sa multifamily. We had an office building. We had two, actually three. So the first one, it's a small office building. So nagkakaroon siya ng cash flow. It's taking care of itself. Yung isang yung isang yung unang-una naming office building. And then it gets over time after I think after 6, 7 years when we found another building. Hold on. That's 2015. That's our first building. 2020, so 5 years, nag-appreciate siya ng value. Okay? We found another building, another office building. But this office building is not really an office building actually, but we turned it into an office building. So kumikita din siya. But not until we fixed it. Okay? Not until we fixed it. And we fixed it for over a year or no, over 2 years actually. So medyo kumikita man, it's a small scale. Napakaliit. And it's just taking care of it itself, pero hindi ka pareho ng first building. The third office building, meron kaming another plan on it. We wanna put in daycare kasi katapat siya ng school, but it didn't work out. Anyways, those are our parang experiences exploring about the real estate. So residential, and then we turned into itong ang office buildings. And then multifamily is a little different. Kasi nga, if you had a steady cash flow, marami kang tenants na nagte-take care of the property, and it's actually taking care of itself by because of their rent. And then, of course, the rent increases every single year, di ba? So, it appreciates value. And then, merong cash flow, may natitira. So, it takes care of all the expenses like the bills, property tax, insurance, what else? Water. So, all of those, meron pa natitira. So, yun yung mahalaga sa multifamily. And dahil ang mga tenants, they stay there. It's their house, right? Parang they consider it's their, doon na sila titira for a year time, 2 years, 3 years. We have tenants dito sa na-acquire naming property. We have tenants that live there for over 15 years. Ni-interview kasi namin sila. I was like, wow, this is, this means you have a sustainable income, diba? A really passive. So earlier when we were discussing about real estate, and he said, yung aming mentor was saying, yeah, majority of us, well, especially our community, di ba? Ang, ang ating, tawag nito, meaning, pag pinag-usapan ng real estate, majority of us ang sasagot, it's our house. Di ba? Yun yung ating definition ng real estate. But honestly, if you think about it, um, it is not really considered as an, I would say, yung category ng investment. Um, Parang hindi siya ganun nagpo-fall into it. Kaya marami kayong maririnig kahit sa mga gurus, even even our mentor Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki, who else? A lot of millionaires and billionaires, sasabihin nila, a house is not an asset. It's a liability. Kasi when you own a house, of course, you save your rental expense, di ba? Instead na magre-rent ako, Ate Mel, bibili na lang ako ng bahay kasi I can save my rent. Tama naman yon. But the definition of an asset is something that puts money in your pocket. And that is not applicable sa house. Unless your house is making money for you. May mga bumibili ng bahay, sometimes duplex, papaupahan nila yung kanilang other side, like side by side. So duplex yung nabili nila. They're living on the other side and then they're renting the other side. So that is making money to them. Diba? For them. Meron naman nagpapaupa ng rooms. So, malapit sila sa school, they have many rooms, papaupahan nila yung kanilang mga bahay. So that's another way na yung bahay nila nagiging income property, di ba? Pero basically, ang house doesn't give you anything. It actually takes out money out of your pocket kasi ginagastusan natin ang bahay natin, correct? Kung kagaya ng marami kong mga kliyente, especially mga mommies, yan ang ating weakness. So, like, ay, ang pangit ng kulay ng ating pintura sa bahay. Kabibili lang, ano? So, gagastusan na agad ng paint. Hindi ganun kamura ang pagpapintura ng bahay dito. So, I remember one of our um, house. Kasi kami nakaapat na lipat kami ng houses. So, parang nagpa-quote kami for 1,000 square foot house, 3 bedrooms. That was 2013, so 12 years ago. $4,000 agad. And I was like, what? No way. Kami na lang ang magpipintura. But again, I'm telling you, this type of tawag nito, upgrades na ginagawa natin sa bahay or improvements na ginagawa natin, it takes out money out of our pocket. So, kaya yun yung sinasabi ng mga millionaires na to na maririnig nyo on their mga sinasabi nila um, uh, sa kanilang videos or sa kanilang talk, sabihin nila, your house is a liability, it's not an asset. Kasi nga, ganun na nangyayari, ginagastusan mo. O, palitan natin ng curtain, palitan natin ng floors, baguhin natin ng kitchen, baguhin natin ang bathroom, kasi luma na, di ba? So, all of this, ginagastusan natin. So, do you think a house is an investment or an asset? So, kaya nga sabi ko, it depends, right? That is actually my business. My business is to help out sellers sell and buyers buy. So, that's why napaka-conservative ko pagdating sa ganyang topic. And because I want my client to be well aware of what they are buying and what um anong tawag nito, yung kanilang even if they sell the property, I want them to be reasonable. So, and I mean, of course, they are spending a lot of money. Maraming mga sellers na magsasabing, oh, ginastusan ko yung ganyan, yung ganito. And then, only to find out na hindi naman magiging, ano yon, hindi magiging a way para tumaas yung presyo ng bahay nila. So, sometimes it's frustrating, di ba? So, ganun ang nangyayari. But, here's the thing. Ang bahay natin, we can we can get an equity build up on our house. But here's majority of our Filipino mindset, 'di ba? We want to keep that equity in that house. Parang gusto ko kasi mabayaran na eh. And then gusto ko wala akong utang. Ganyan tayo, 'di ba? What is that money doing in your house? Anong ginagawa ng equity mo na yon for you? I called it lazy money. Lazy money are those money that get stuck in your equity kasi hindi nyo alam kung paano gamitin yon in order for that money to work for you. Yun yung missing link doon eh, di ba? Kaya tayo, and especially tayo mga Pilipino, takot na takot tayong mangungutang. Parang ayaw natin na meron akong extrang babayaran. Ayoko magkaka-interest yung aking pera against me. But we don't have the idea or information paano naman kikita tong pera na to for us. Yun yung nakalimutan nating alamin. So, ngayon, ang nangyayari, if you have that kind of lazy money sitting in your house, what will gonna happen then? Ikaw ang magtatrabaho for the rest of your life. Kasi your money is not doing anything for you. So yun yung ino-open natin dito. There are ways that those kind of equity or money that is sitting in your house, na sa tingin nyo, yun yung magiging, oh, that will be my retirement. That I will gonna sell my house in the next few years after I retire and then enjoy my life. Parang ganun yung ating gustong gawin, di ba? And then yung iba naman, sasabihin, oh, ipapamana ko kasi sa aking mga anak yung aming bahay. Kasi yun na lang ang pwede naming maiiwan sa kanila. A very noble purpose and very humble tawag nito, act nating mga parents. But just a reminder for each and every one of us, okay? I'm just talking here of an experience as a realtor. I've been a realtor for more than 15 years dito sa atin sa Winnipeg. And I will be continuing my career as a realtor kasi I really want to help a lot of people out there na magkaroon sila ng ganitong klaseng idea that you can turn that kind of possibility na paano kung gagamitin ng bahay ko for me to invest in real estate. Kasi kung hindi mo yun gagamitin, talagang magiging liability ang bahay. Alright? So, anyways, going back, just an experience, just to share this with you. The reality is, majority of my clients na naandun sa position na yon na magre-retire, minsan nga, it's a very sad, maraming sad stories na one of the parents passed and nangyayari, or both parents passed, yung mismong may-ari na ba. And then, this property was left to their kids. Okay? So what does the kid do pagdating sa mga ganitong scenario? Majority of the time, they just sell the house because they don't know what to do. Majority of the time. Nangyayari yun. And so therefore, if you're gonna realize as parents sa ngayon na meron kayong ganong klaseng situation, you might probably think about, okay, would it be better kung ang iiwanan ko sa mga anak ko is a passive income coming from a real estate that I bought and it will give them like month after month income kaysa doon sa bahay na parang, oh, pagka ang tingin ng mga anak natin, well, this is just this is just coming from these parents or kids that I am that yeah, I'm dealing with pagka nangyayari yung ganong scenario sa family. They think about they could not really handle the obligation of owning a property na naiwan sa kanila ng kanilang parents, so they just let it go. Okay, so things in life happens bilang mga tayong mga may mga ganong klaseng property. Just think about that kind of situations. Or maybe just to let our kids be prepared pagdating sa mga ganong klaseng ano na, 'di ba? Stages in life like okay, may iwan namin sa inyo tong bahay na to. Kayo nang bahala or whatever you want to discuss with them, just let them be open, right? So tingnan niyo yung ganong klaseng possibility. Anyways, kami kasi ni Orly, ang nangyari sa amin during that time when na-open yung mind namin sa multifamily, oh yeah, it will be better for them to receive our cash flow coming from this kind of investment, 'di ba? Kasi continue siya eh. It will be continuous. You can pass it on. Generational wealth. Ang multifamily investing is generational wealth. And I firmly believe that by this kind of yung investments tawag nito, yung criteria na to that you buy after acquiring the first one and then mag-increase siya ng value, take that money out from it, invest into another multifamily. Kasi pag padadamihin mo yung units na yan, you will not stop with just acquiring one. Keep on acquiring as much as you could. Ang sabi nga ni mentor kanina, if we believe, no, if we believe that our house is an asset, kasi majority sa atin ayaw pumayag talaga, no, hindi liability ang bahay ko. Doon nga ako kumita ng malaki nung unang bahay ko na ibinenta ko, bla bla bla, ganyan ganyan. Yes, 'di ba? Kung marunong tayong gumamit ng ating opportunity, kasi it's an opportunity that I always tawag nito, share with my clients na itong opportunity na to, yung kayo ay magkaroon ng approval, an approval from the bank that you can buy your house or something that you really want to buy, like a duplex or whatever, a house or first home or whatever. It's an opportunity. Binibigyan nila kayo na, okay, bibigay mo lang, especially sa atin, sa Canada, it's 5% down. Okay, 5% down. And then taken care of na ng financial institutions yung 95%. That's an opportunity right there. Di ba? Kung marunong tayong gumamit nun, and we turned our house into some sort of an asset when we build up our equity, then there you go. You'll be in business and magpo-flow yan. That's what we do. Diba? That's what we did on our first house, second house, third house, fourth house, fourth house, pinapaikot namin yung equity niya and until such time that we acquire this building. Diba? It's a very good tawag nito, um, story, I would say, na pwede pala yon. Kasi last year, well, hindi mo masabi talaga, no? Kasi ang hirap bumili ng bahay. Yun yung point. And ang sinasabi natin is, kung kung tayo na family is hirap bumili ng first home, how can we even acquire a big facility? Parang imposibleng magkaroon na ng chance yung mga kagaya nating individuals like simple family na maging part or maging owner nitong malalaking facility. Like, how about the idea of buying 100 units of an apartment? Pwede ba yon? So based on what I learned from my coach, pwede. But kailangan mo lang talagang malaman kung ano yung mga dapat mong malaman, di ba? Because you don't know what you don't know, sabi nga nila. But yeah, we've been into that process. This is the first acquisition. Kaya sabi nga ni Coach last time, if you were able to do it on that first one, that's only 28 units. But it's gonna be the same if you will gonna buy 100 units, 200 units, 300 units, and so on and so forth. Kasi it's gonna be the same process. It's just a different scale of numbers yung pinag-uusapan dito. Di ba? Ganun siya. So, naranasan na natin yon. We're just gonna do it over and over and over and over again. Kaya ang nakakatuwa, dahil ang alam nating asset is our house, di ba? Kung naniniwala tayo doon, how much more ang magiging tingin natin or yung perspective natin kapag ka ang pinag-uusapan na ay 100 doors in one address, in one location, di ba? Di ba? Kasi kung naniniwala tayo na, oh, a house is an asset, what about 100 doors in one address? Di ba? Pagdating sa closing, sa lawyer, if you have 10 houses, okay, meron kang 10 houses sa iba't ibang lugar. That's gonna be 10 closing, di ba? 10 lawyers, 10 lawyers fee, 10 closing fees, and those kind of stuff, di ba? 10. Unlike yung 100 doors in one location, you only have one closing, one lawyer, di ba? Yun yung pinakamaganda nun. And I was like, how can you do that? Million ang pinag-uusapan dito, Mel, di ba? Sa totoo lang. That's my question too. And then, para bang, alam niyo yung kasabihan na, how can you eat an elephant? Di ba? How can you eat an elephant? Last year, that's my biggest question. Kasi, being involved in a residential real estate, nakita ko kasi yung hirap ng mga kliyente ko on getting their financing. Even me, kaming family, before we even buy our first home, hirap na hirap kaming mag-qualify sa bangko sa pagbili ng first house. Kaya parang yung idea mo na paano ka makakabili ng milyon, 'di ba? Parang na-stuck na lang doon sa under magkano yung bahay natin sa Winnipeg? Under 500,000 or under 400,000. Parang gano'n na lang, 'di ba? Hindi mo na ma-erase, maitaas yung iyong acquisition kasi alam mo hindi ka magko-qualify. Na-stuck tayo doon. Aminin natin o hindi, na-stuck yung mind natin doon sa kalasing thinking na yun. Kasi no one is telling us that we can. Kasi even myself, I can't tell to myself that we can. Until such time that I found someone who told me that I can. And now I'm telling you all that you can. But here's the thing, you cannot do it yourself. I cannot do it myself. Unless siguro, pinanganak tayo with silver spoon, yung sinasabi nga niya. Na meron tayong malaking negosyo, meron tayong malaking income, we have this and that in life, possible makabili tayo ng mga ganyang milyong-milyong portfolios, right? But yung mga maliliit na parang, oh, we only have our house, we only have our jobs, eto lang kami. We only have this savings or whatever, right? Ito lang yung alam. Paano? Parang wala na tayong karapatan. 'Di ba? Tapos nadikdik tayo dun sa idea na oh, bayaran mo yung bahay mo kasi para hindi ka na magkaroon ng utang na iintindihin mo pagka ikaw ay retired na. And masyadong marami sa atin ang takot na takot mag-retire kasi ang dami pa nating utang. Tama ba 'yon? Ganun ang katotohanan sa life, 'di ba? Laging ganon. Kaya minsan nga napapagkamalan nila ako na, financial advisor ka ba, Mel? Sabi ko, hindi ako financial advisor, hindi ako lawyer, hindi ako tax preparer, hindi din ako tax expert. Ako ay isang realtor Ako ay isang real estate broker. It's just so happened that I dealt with a lot of lawyers, a lot of accountants, a lot of business people, a lot of clients, and knowing this stuff, parang I really want to share this. Okay, yun si Mel Elago. But I mean nakakatuwa lang dahil parang this chance of sharing this information to many people, nagkakaroon ng a little bit open, parang nagkakaroon ng open spot on their mind na pwede pala, 'di ba? Sabi nga nung anak ko, parang parachute daw. Pag hindi mo inopen ang parachute mo, babagsak ka na lang sa lupa. 'Di ba? Parang you fall, like straight fall down the ground. Pwede naman palang tatanggalin mo lang yung pinaka-ano nun, and then it's gonna, okay, open, right? And it will lead you safe landed ka sa, magsa-safe land ka sa ground. So, anyways, yun yung scenario. Marami sa atin na mga Pilipino, hindi tayo nagpa-participate sa pagnenegosyo kasi takot tayo. Lagi na din yung takot natin na paano kung mag-fail ako. Hindi nyo naisip na paano kung maging successful ka, di ba? There are always two ways. Pwede ka maging successful, pwede hindi ka maging successful. Pero alam mo, natutunan ko sa life, kapag ka gusto mong magiging successful, maiiwasan mo talaga yung failure no? But hindi ganun yung, ang tingin mo kasi pagka andun ka sa path going to success, ang tingin mo sa failure part of it, hindi ka titigil. Na, oops, teka, may humps. Okay, let's go on that. Then you go up and up and up. Marami sa atin natatakot sa failure, pero ang failure kasi is part of success. So, I'm not saying na hindi ka I would say, you will not think failure as failure. It's just part of going to your road, path to success. Ganun yung tingin ko sa failure. Si Michael Jordan, siya daw yung pinaka magandang example ng, ng roads to success. Sabi niya kasi, I fail over and over and over and over and over again until na ma-reach niya yung success. Siya yung pinakamaraming shots during the basketball on his career. 'Di ba? Siya yung pinakamaraming shoots. Kasi siya din yung pinakamaraming miss. 'Di ba? Because he tried. He tried, he tried, he tried. Hindi siya tumitigil mag-try. Kaya siya yung may pinakamaraming shot. So, ganun din tayo sa life, I would say. So, we're so happy that we found this after my 15 years sa real estate residential. I found yung idea ng multifamily investing, and I'm so happy that this is the way to go. Kaya I firmly believe na magkakaroon to ng growth in the next itong year na to, and in the year after this year, and the year after next year, and so on and so forth. Kaya hopefully yung mga information na to ay magbigay sa atin ng guide, 'di ba? Um, marami tayong mga tawag nito, kailangang matutunan kasi isa sa mga I would say isa sa mga until now we're trying to, kasi kaya I'm still learning about this because I need to develop my confidence, especially pagka nasa search ka of deals. Saan ba tayo maghahanap ng deals, di ba? Saan ba merong ganitong klaseng opportunity na makakabili tayo ng hundred of units ng apartment? Saan ba yan? And then pagka naman nakakita ka, paano mo naman kakausapin kung sino yung taong na may hawak ng deals na yon, di ba? What are the the conversation? What type of conversation ang kailangan mo matutunan? Kasi me, I've been in real estate for quite some time. Marami na akong terminologies na alam about real estate, and I can deal and I can talk with so many agents and owners and buyers pagdating sa real estate. So, bilang nag-aaral, especially mga kagaya nyo na nagsisimula pa lang and you really want to understand this, kailangan nyo ma-develop yung confidence na yun, di ba? Hindi siya nangyayari overnight. And people on who's on that side ng real estate investing, alam nila, alam namin kapag walang alam yung kausap namin. 'Di ba? Paano kakausapin? 'Di ba? Yun. And even myself, I wanna build that confidence in me. That's why I have a coach, I have a mentor na lagi kong tinatanong pagdating sa ganitong mga discussions. So what if ganito yung mangyayari? What if ito yung sinabi nila? Parang, who are you? Yun na lang tanong na yun eh, who are you? 'Di ba? You wanna buy 100 units of an apartment? Parang, parang sino ka? Di ba? Nakakatuwa lang. Pero, um, you will develop that kind of confidence over time. And it's not because you need to have that kind of experience. Pero experience will really help you out. Kaya dun sa mga kasama namin, we are partners. So during this kind of sessions, pag may nakita kayong mga properties out there, whom you think will be qualified, discuss natin yung numbers. Kasi as we always say dito sa ating session every Tuesday, the most important numbers that we have to understand in investing in multifamily, diba? Meron tayong diniscuss na we need to understand how important the number of doors. Kasi iyan yung magbibigay sa atin ng bigger scale. Ano ba yung sinasabi nila na, oh, we have this gross income, we have this, so those are all numbers. Ano ba yung effective income? Ano ba yung vacancy rate? Ano ba yung pinag-uusapan tungkol sa expense ratio? Ano ba yung NOI, di ba? Ano ba yung cap rate? So those are the terminologies na lagi niyong maririnig in the commercial real estate, multifamily investing. You have to understand how those numbers are being used pagdating sa conversation, di ba? So yun yung nasa past sessions natin. If you wanna learn more about this, tingnan nyo, nasa ano siya, we have it, we tried to really editing it, nilagay namin dun sa channel that we can all learn from it. Ako nga, natututo ko sa sarili ko eh. When I'm listening to those videos, so I was like, oh yeah, I understand. Yeah. Parang narinig ko yung sarili ko dun sa video and I learned from it again. Diba? Minsan you need to keep on hearing the same thing over and over again para matuto tayo. Nangyayari yon. Our learning, imagine how we learn on our first grade. Gaanong kadaming repetition ang ginawa natin just to learn our first ABCD, the alphabet, the numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, di ba? Yung numbers. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, every single, we repeat it over and over and over and over again. Pagdating nung edad natin sa ngayon, like, para bang alam na natin lahat, hey, no, it's not. Hindi natin alam, right? Minsan ngayon, narinig natin kahapon, nakalimutan na natin ngayon eh. Sige nga, sino nga makakapagsabi ng mabilis na naalala nyo yung kinain nyo simula kahapon ng umaga, mula breakfast, noon, and dinner. Sige nga. It's hard, right? How much more? Yung mga ganitong mga bagong idea na dumadating sa atin. So again, this is something of big importance. Pagka mahalaga sa atin, we pay attention. We pay a big attention. We keep on learning things. And we will never stop until we become an expert. And being an expert, you still have that kind of hunger for knowledge. Diba? Kasi you need to dig deep, digging deep, digging deep, di ba? Kasi marami pa tayong kailangan malaman. And that's why I was always encouraging each and everyone sa atin that every single day, let's learn. Let's learn new things every single day. What's new? Ang ganda nga eh, di ba? Kami natutunan namin na laging itanong, let's say, every day, like, what's new with you today? So our mind, our brain will be trained to think what is new, what is the fresh idea that you get in. Di ba? Kaya, so, okay, by saying that, I really want to trim it this way. I would like to open the floor. Ano yung takeaway nyo on this session?
My takeaway today, my house is not a investment, it is a liability. It's not an asset, it's not because I spend a lot of money. That's my takeaway. So it's better to think of multi real estate investing because when I get, let's say, for example, I get old, I can live in that apartment for free. Let's say, for example, we acquired 100 units. I can live in that apartment for free because all bills and expenses will be taken out or get credit from the tax. And so, unlike house, I have to get the money for repair and all bills from my pocket and not tax credit, no tax credit.
That's good.
Ang
Gilbert,
takeaway,
tama ba? It's your first time?
opo,
Ah, that's good. Welcome, Gilbert.
thanks to Mike.
Okay, si Mike. Magkasama kayo sa work?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So what is your takeaway, Gilbert?
Well, tulad po ng sinabi nyo, the house is a liability until you start earning money from it. So,
That's
and being an owner of a house, tulad ng sinasabi nyo, kinakailangan matuto, di ba?
it's a hard fact, di ba? Parang it's hurting us much to understand that our house is not really an asset. But there is a way that we can use our house, di ba?
Totoo yun. Tulad ng sinabi nyo kanina, you can use your house para sa mga international students. Di ba? And then you can rent your house para kumita kayo pambayad sa bills.
Right? That's
Mhm.
right. That's right.
Ang problema po tulad ko, problema po sa akin, I don't know the process. Kung let's say, makakabili ng 100 units, paperworks, CRA, filing of taxes, there's so much things to learn.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. And I'm so happy to announce to everybody here, meron tayong naging sessions about doon sa mga topics na yan, Gilbert.
Good.
That is already uploaded in our page doon sa ating multifamily investors circle. So, pwede nyo ma-access yung mga videos na yon para magkaroon kayo ng understanding about tungkol dun sa like yung sa taxes. Paano yon? Ano yung tax type? Yung process, there's a little bit of details on that. And then, but majority of it, especially yung last sessions namin with isa sa mga financial advisors ng National Bank, kay Albert. So, diniscuss doon yung tungkol sa how would you use at saka yung equity ng bahay natin towards investing. So, merong a little portion doon that you can learn from. Yeah.
Meron na rin ho ba kayong topic about distribution?
Sa distribution, that's a good one. Okay, that's a good one. We actually discuss about it doon sa club. So, Mike, one of the members or one of the investors doon sa aming unang acquisition. Kaya meron kaming separate discussion about distribution. That's maybe will be one of our topics in the next sessions kasi continuous yung learning natin dito sa Tuesday group. Kasi ito yung parang basic. Ito yung basic natin and then we're gonna discuss a little more pagdating sa depende dun sa mga questions na mag-arise from the participants.
Okay. Sounds good. Oh. I'm interested.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep on attending kasi talagang this will be a series of education. Kasi as much as possible, I just want to put some seed sa ating mga Pinoy. Kasi importanteng malaman natin to. We don't want to get parang behind na lang. So a lot of people are already exploring this kind of opportunities. Huwag tayong magpahuli. Tayo
Okay.
yung pinakamasipag sa lahat ng, I would say, I knew of a lot of community. Tayo yung known pagdating sa service. Tayo yung hindi tayo huli pagdating sa education, hindi tayo huli pagdating sa service, pero pagdating sa negosyo, doon tayo nahuhuli. Pagdating sa investment, takot na takot tayo.
Pero
So,
meron na po kayo na-acquire na multifamily. Okay.
meron na Gilbert. Awa ng Diyos, kasama namin sila Mike at Mina doon sa aming unang position. And that's the 28 units na if you are aware of that building sa harapan ng Garden City Collegiate, that is our first acquisition. And as of now, it is 100% occupied. Hindi siya
Wow.
nabakante. Yeah, I know. And it's a very good location too because it's prime location in Garden City.
Mm.
So,
So,
we're so happy.
Pag nag-acquire po kayo, let's say meron po nag-invest, kasama po ba yung pangalan ng investor sa as an
Owner.
owner? Okay.
You're an owner. Yeah, kaya ang daming paperwork eh. Yun nga yung sinasabi ko. Don't just put your money into something na hindi nyo alam. Importante para sa akin, lalo na alam natin kung saan natin nilalagay yung ating pera. Kasi this money will gonna work hard for us, for sure. Pero we have to understand how this money will gonna work para alam nyo yung ins and outs. That's one important thing in investing. Okay, just to share with so many to many of you.
Meron pa akong isang question. Let's say kasi in life we don't know what will happen, ano po. Let's say someone invested in multi-business like that, and then something happened, and then they want to kumalas na. Are you guys going to buy them back, or
nakalagay yan sa nakalagay yan doon sa contract na aming ginawa. Yeah, every single details. You wouldn't believe how thick the file is.
Okay. Kasi may mga sinalihan na rin po ako eh. And then all of them are not successful. So
no.
Meron kami binili property sa Calgary, Meg Place. But then for some reason it didn't go through. Nakuha yung aming investment. So inilaban namin, nag-lawyer kami. And then meron din kami biniling property sa Mexico, itinakbo nung namahala, nakakulong siya ngayon. So
oh my God.
So I'm quite
disappointed.
Takot, gano'n.
Disappointed and frustrated. Yeah. But here's the thing, Gilbert. I'm so happy that seeing you here. Because I mean, you have that kind of interest. Nandun pa yung interest mo, hindi nawawala. Marami sa mga nagkakaroon ng frustrations in investing, they just shut off. Parang, ayoko na. Off. Diba? Parang ganon. But you are here, meaning you are still, nandun ka pa rin sa game na yon. You just need to find a group or something that will give that inspiration back. Kasi meron kang idea about investments, di ba?
I just want to learn po muna.
But learn first. Para sa akin, only in this kind of venture na mauuna sa alphabet ang letter L bago ang letter E. So meaning, You have to learn first before you can earn. Learning muna tayo. Ako very passionate ako sa learning. Kasi importante sa akin na malaman ko bago ako magkaroon ng chance to make money. That's a good point. Romel, it's your turn.
I think you guys covered everything now.
Well, not to be scared, exploring, to make your money that you work hard for, to make it work for you. So
Exactly. We work hard for our money. Let this money work harder for us. 'Di ba? Majority of the time kasi, we just put it aside. Kasi takot tayo. Sabi nga ni Gilbert, meron na siyang 2 karanasan. So talagang natatakot na siya. But I'm so happy to see him here dahil nandun yung interest pa rin niya. So he just needs a group or a place or to learn about stuff na kagaya nito before getting his money back into work. Tayong lahat dito, we're all students. I'm just sharing with you what I learned from my coach and from my mentor, and we will keep on exploring opportunities. Titingnan natin yung tawag nito yung mga hindi natin na-explore before, we're gonna do that this time. And I'm so happy that I can see many young guns, kung tawagin ko, kagaya nitong mag-sweetheart na to, si Romel and Christy. I'm so happy seeing you at this kind of yung learning na to. Kasi your age, I still believe that your age is one of your assets here. The younger you start, the better. Kasi, again, who will gonna take care of you when you're old? It is the younger you. Always remember that. And of course, with that, I think we are on the overtime mode now. With that, again, sa Tuesday, let's share yung sa mga kakilala natin. Marami ako mga na hindi pa kasi marami tayong mga kababayan who's really asking about this. And for some reason, hindi daw sila makakonect. I don't know what's the problem with the link, but many of them are just asking another link. I was like, no, it's the same link, right, Romel? You're still using the same link as before. So anyways, we'll see each other again next Tuesday.